Hi, I'm Terry Kirkham from Global Business Auctioneers and Valuers. In 2025, I wanted to do something special for the veterans community. And that's why we chose to sponsor a veteran story with This Story Australia. Today, I'm glad to introduce Matt Williams, OAM. Matt served Australia in the Army from 2014 to 2021, deploying to Afghanistan. Upon his return, Matt was told at the age of 22 that he had terminal brain cancer. Matt started an Instagram page, Willie Beating Cancer, and he has spent the last few years as a freelance conflict media producer on the realities of modern warfare, fighting cancer, increasing awareness and raising money for cancer research. Matt received the Medal of the Order of Australia. It is our pleasure to share Matthew's story here today.
The most I've struggled with my military service is when the 7th Battalion collapsed. And I was out of the forces. So November last year, November 24, right here where we're filming, we had the final parade of the battalion. And I was been out of the forces for 2 or 3 years at that point in time. Nothing to do with the military at the moment except for coming and giving my 2 cents when requested on certain scenarios. But that was a real moment in time for me. It was the end of an epoch. It was the unit's gone. Not only the boys moving and they're all being posted out, but the 7th Battalion where I served and where all these guys, and there was all Vietnam vets, it's gone. It's now no more. And that was a loss of identity that now doesn't exist. And I know it's the exact same for a lot of the boys over at Perth with 2 Squadron. That it was that is maybe the root cause of a lot that then spreads out. And that was very difficult. It's a hard thing. Leaving the forces is very difficult, especially if you've had no adult life previous to it. If you get in at 25 and get out at 30, you've lived a life before that. But if you've been a kid and then you're an adult, like day one of Kapooka, that's the hard thing. Kapooka is easy. There's not a single step at Kapooka of which I couldn't go home and get my girlfriend on the back of a machine gun in her pass by the afternoon. There's no single aspect of that. The difficulty with Kapooka is you are entering as a civilian, you have to leave as a soldier, and they've got 90 days to do it, or however long it is these days. That's the difficulty. And most people are coming in at 18, and you need to be a grown adult day one of this. That's the difficulty in it. And that's what makes everything, compounds the difficulty of very simple tasks. And they do a very good job, the recruit instructors there, in facilitating this, as brutal as it may have to be at times. But you are indoctrinated into a certain way. Forces, militaries need to have an indoctrination and a propaganda to have forces to be able to go to not question exactly what you're doing and go up and over a trench. Australian forces, we absolutely see initiative and personal initiative as one of our core aspects. But there is a limit to that. We still need guys who are prepared to not question exactly what we're doing and go over the top of a trench into machine gun fire if needed. You can't, at the end of the day, you still need a level of indoctrination of this is what we're here to do. Your personal thoughts about this need to be pushed out, and this is exactly what's happening. There still has to be an aspect of that. Your initiative starts and stops at tactical, small level strategic actions. Let the higher ups worry about larger scale war strategy, operational movements. So there has to be that, and that's a difficult change for a young guy. Young people tend to push back very, very strongly on change.